Robert Rivas Radio, Tejano, and much more.
Robert Rivas Radio, Tejano, and much more. And at this time, it is my honor to welcome Flaco Jimenez to Robert Rivas Radio Morning Show. Good morning, Flaco.
Good morning, Robert. Thanks for this invitation, man, to un big hello para todo el público, everyone that's, in tune. So a big hello for everybody that's out there.
Amigo, congratulations on your Lifetime Achievement Award on receiving the Grammy. Wow, that is really something else. A big congratulations.
Well, thank you, Robert. Thank you very much, man. I'm really happy about it in some ways, because this award means a lot to me. As you know, it's the highest you can go as far as Grammys is concerned.
Of course, and we'll deserve, Flaco. We'll deserve, no doubt. And, of course, representing San Antonio, Texas, ¿no que no?
Well, mi San Antonio, yes, of course. Being that I started my career here aquí en San Antonio, ¿verdad? And I started in 1954 my career, So this is my hometown, and I really le doy gracias a todos my friends, my fellow musicians, and all of the guys that helped me out around, in my career.
Of course. Well, so, Flaco, a quick question before we get started with the nitty-gritty del interview. What was the biggest award, the Lifetime Achievement Award or Jane Fonda?
I would say both.
Amigo,
it was neck to neck, man.
Amigo, how did you get that kiss from Jane Fonda? Tell me what you had to do here, Flaco.
Oh, well, she was sitting in the first row. I was sitting in the second row, but I was facing her, So she, when they mentioned my name to go on stage, and there's a rail that goes up to the stage, She was right on the Sabayo, So, well, I stood up and being that I've got a back problem, también, so she noticed, I guess, that I was kind of despacio.
Right.
So she stood up and helped me out para arriba, just the first step or whatever. So I said, okay, hey, I said, no, give it some more steps, man. Dale some more steps.
Dijo que dices, Flaco, Jane, a little bit more help, por favor, un poquito más.
Yeah, that was fun, man.
And if you can help me back to San Antonio con más ganas, Jane, ¿verdad?
She's a real nice lady. We talked for a while, so she's a real nice lady.
Qué bonito, Flaco. Now, Flaco, now, I hate to bring this up, but I'm going to have to bring it up. Born March 11th, 1939.
That is correct.
Woohoo!
So in this March 11, I'm going to be 76.
76 years old.
Yeah.
Wow, Flaco, and still kicking ass out there performing.
Well, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Those bills are still coming in. So.
Oye, pues, Flaco, dile a Jane Fonda que pague los biles, amigo.
A lo mejor quiere que le pague los biles yo a ella.
Wait, Flaco, now, how did you get this name Flaco? How did this come about?
It was 1954 when I started recording with Los Caminantes of Mike Garza, Henry Zimmerly, Mike Garza, and it was a band, Los Caminantes. So when we started recording under Rio Records, which is it was just a local independent label here in San Antonio. So we lasted about 2 years of Los Caminantes. And then in 1957 was my first record or 78 RPM that I recorded under Flaco Jimenez.
Oh, and the rest is history, no, Flaco?
Pues hasta ahorita yo creo que up to now.
Amigo, you started performing at the age of 7 with your father, Santiago
Jimenez.
¿Verdad?
Yes.
How did this come about? I mean, where did you get the accordion and say, ¿sabes qué? Ahora sí, le voy a empezar. I'm going to learn this thing.
Being that my dad was recording at that time under Decca Records, he started in 1936. The age of 6 years old, I started picking up his accordion when he was working, because he used to work during the day. He had 2 jobs, playing in the weekend, and during the week he had to weekly job,
Sí, a 9-to-5 job.
Sí, because we were, we were real, I would say poor, but it was tough, man.
Sure, I
but,
can imagine.
My dad managed to put some frijoles and tortillas still, and we were 7 in the whole family, chiquitos, todos chiquitos, so que...
Y con hambre.
Oh, sí, pero con hambre no, porque todo el tiempo, aunque sea frijoles y papas, but we had something to eat.
That a boy.
So there was one, I could handle the accordion because I used to watch him play, and I was about 6 years old. Y yo ya sabía, porque I watched him when he was playing at home, and I used to observe his type of playing.
Right.
So when he went to work during the week, I managed to just get that accordion and sin permiso and started just because I more or less knew that I more or less knew.
Pues Flaco, is that Jane Fonda calling you? You don't have to say no. It's your secret. I'll leave it alone.
Well, it must have been, but I told her not today, tomorrow.
Robert Rivas is important por ahorita. Más tarde.
Yeah, okay. Well,
más tarde.
I'll catch yo después te hablo. No, so, there's a lot of talk about this. It's just like a humorous thing for me because, Jane Fonda is a big star, whatever. But, this guy scared me a lot. Hey, man, did you get her number? I'm happily married, man.
So getting back to look at, you got started with your father now. At the age of 15, you were a member of Los Caporales?
Los Caporales. I was about 14, 15 years old. Y Los Caporales, it was my dad's idea for me to form a little group of tololoche, upright bass and bajo sexto, and form a little group, And it came to his mind, llamando Los Caporales, which was Joe Ponce, which was an upright bass, and Henry Zimmerly on bajo sexto.
Wow.
He was a young kid.
Wow.
Well, yeah, we were real young. So getting back to when I started getting, grabbing my accordion sin permiso, pero I was no tenía miedo, or I didn't decirle a Dad, me presta el acordeón. No, I just let it ride, iba a trabajar. One day he got off work early. I was playing his accordion, but he didn't enter the house. Luego he got nomás a media puerta nomás, but I couldn't see him. ¿Me entiendes? No lo podía ver.
Right.
So I think he stood there for I don't know how long because I was
escuchándote. He was listening to you.
Because I knew how to play his polkas and all, and he didn't know about it.
Wow.
Because I was acá because it's not my accordion, whatever. Yeah. And so finally he opened the door and I saw him and I got not scared or something. He came straight to me and crying and gave me a real a bear hug, man. Me dio un bear hug, He was amazed that I could play the accordion, yeah. And then me dijo, cuando quiera, mi hijo, agarre el acordeón. You can use my accordion anytime because he knew I knew how to play.
That is simply awesome, Flaco. Now, around 1960, you started performing with Sir Douglas Quintet, Duck Sound, ¿verdad?
Yes.
How did this happen?
Well, after I had a group after Los Caminantes. After that, I started recording with Flaco Jimenez in 1957. So at that time, Duck Sound invited me from New York. He was recording in New York with his band, Sir Douglas Band, whatever.
Sir Douglas Quintet?
Yes, He called me and he said, come on over. We're having a recording session in Atlantic Records. Bob Dylan, we got Dr. John, we got Augie was there, and a whole bunch of guys making that record, but I didn't know what kind of music it was. Like I knew more or less the groove of a Doug, but I didn't know what I was going to record. Regardless, they sent me the ticket or whatever, and then there I go to New York and.
Sin saber lo que ibas a hacer.
No, I didn't know what song was it or whatever, but being that I knew Doug and Doug had faith in me, he dijo, no, see, you can do it, and it was the first time of an accordion that blended in a type of rock and rollish Sir Doug thing,
Flaco, let me ask you something. Como dices tú, it was the first time where things like this were happening. Do you think you were the one that introduced el acordeon to some of these rock and rollers?
Yes, I did.
Fíjate. Isn't that something?
Yes, I did. And I'm not bragging about it, man.
No, I understand, of course.
Yes, I did.
La verdad es la verdad, Flaco. The truth is the truth, man.
And, después, after the Doug song, word got around that the accordion could blend in different kinds of music, like country, which I love country, man. When I was a young kid, I used to listen to country western, and I used to tune in on some stations in New Braunfels, which is Oompa music, polka. Le volteaba, to Oompa music, and then to country, and there I go, just trying to figure out if I could fit, in those kinds of things. And then Ry Cooder came along. The same old thing. He invited me for some projects, and then I started touring with Ry. There was another guy, Peter Rowan, which was now it was bluegrass now, and I said, how in the hell am I going to play bluegrass on a bluegrass band? But I managed to do it for a while, just for a while, though.
So I take it you had conversations with Mick Jagger.
Oh yeah, well the last when we recorded at Voodoo Lounge.
How did you get along with him?
Oh, fine, man. I mean, when I got there, he had a case of beer for me, man.
Listo, ya te conocía.
Yeah, he knew, but of course I didn't drink it all. So it was Jagger, Don Was, and Keith Richards, and then I took along Max Baca, because I figured might be that bajo sexto, what they want us to do, might be that the bajo sexto can fit in there. But still, I didn't know the song either, because I didn't get to hear the song.
Right.
So it was from one day to the other. So there I go from San Francisco, which I was in San Francisco, managed to get me to LA the next day to A&M Studio, and that day I was off. So I managed to get there and record with the guys.
I tell you what, Flaco, let's take a break in the action. You're listening to Robert Rivas Radio with 6-time Grammy Award-winning Flaco Jimenez.
Okie doke.
Robert Rivas Radio, Tejano, and much more.
Robert Rivas Radio, Tejano, and much more. And I'm back with Flaco Jimenez. Flaco, on this break, I know you went away for a little bit, and I could hear Baby and Honey and Darling. Was that Jane Fonda, Flaco, or you can't say nothing about this?
My lips are sealed.
He said, Flaco, my lips are sealed. That's it. This interview is over. Amigo, let's get to the 80s, and let's talk about the Texas Tornadoes. Amigo, how did this come about with Flaco Jimenez and the Texas Tornadoes?
Well, actually, just came out of the blue, Robert. We were in San Francisco, but in a different bands. I was with my own band on tour, and Freddy was doing his own thing, and Augie and Doug were doing. It's just that we were all there, but in different groups, different places, So there was one place that is called Slim's in San Francisco, and it's a real groovy place. Everybody goes there, musicians or whatever.
Flaco, I haven't heard the word groovy in a long.
Yeah, well, I learned that from Doug.
It's a groovy place. Wow.
Yeah, and so it just happened that we were all there And we didn't plan to go, as a bunch or whatever. We just met there or whatever. Hey guys, how you doing or whatever. And I think it was a show that Freddy Fender was doing. When me and Doug or whoever just got there, just de repente, and
was it out of conversation?
It was not planned at all.
Wow.
It was not, just, hey guys, how you doing? Oh, fine, Freddie, how you doing? Hey Doug. And then we decided just to jam, to go on stage and jam us four. And we didn't have no plans of the songs or whatever. We just made something up on stage at that moment, So there was a producer from Warner Brothers, Paige Levy from Warner Brothers, and she was there, So she saw this band that she never knew or never thought it was going to sound that way or whatever. So she decided, then she gave us a number or whatever. Then we started negotiating with her, or because she was really interested of how the sound of the Texas Tornadoes sounded. Real unique, like country-ish, Tex-Mex-ish, and rock and roll-ish, and then Augie Mars or whatever.
That's what I was going to ask you, Flaco. Now, La Música de los Texas Tornadoes, what was it considered?
It was...
what genre was it considered?
Well, we had some problems on what category the music industry would put us.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so that's why we didn't have airplay. We were supposed to have airplay because the records were tremendous, they were good, but they didn't know in what category.
Where to put y'all?
Yes, It was just the Texas Tornadoes, that was it. But the flavor of the Texas Tornadoes, it's rock and roll, country, Tex-Mex. And let me clear this up. Tejano is one thing, Tex-Mex or Conjunto Tex-Mex is another. It's not the same because, like a J. Perez or like a Son and Suna or whatever, so they're Tejano groups or whatever. In my group, since I started playing, I never called myself a Tejano artist. It's a Música Tejana.
Now, Flaco, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
I know back in the 70s, even some of the music was considered Chicano.
Yes.
Brown soul.
Yeah, it didn't last though.
Right.
It didn't last. But even Tejano
existed.
And Conjunto, it was named way back, ever since my dad started recording. They say Conjunto, but Conjunto, it's just saying a band. It can be a Conjunto of Tropical, a Conjunto of other kinds of music. It's a conjunction of music. But Conjunto, here from San Antonio, it's a bajo sexto en la acordeón. It's a Conjunto.
Right.
Pero as time went along, people didn't, especially the English audience, they didn't know what Conjunto is, then we had to explain. And then when I started going overseas and going, representing the accordion with different kinds of music, like country, like rock or this, but not Tejano. I never recorded Tejano with my accordion. Nowadays, there's accordion in every Tejano group or whatever, but as we know, and that this are facts, that when Joe Bravo or this, a lot of bands, they ignored the accordion. They didn't want an accordion in Tejano music. Like D.B. Escobedo, those guys, Tejano, and I don't have nothing against Tejano. They do their own thing, but my music, or my kind of music, that's more for Chicano or Mexican American, or so that's why we called it, and now it's all over the world, Tex-Mex.
Flaco, let me ask you a question. I had a friend of mine, one time I asked him, when you start talking Tejano music, we can be here for days and days trying to categorize what's this, what's that. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, in your definition, what is Tejano music? And he came back and told me, well, he says, it's pretty simple for me. He goes, if you're asking me my definition of Tejano, he said, if it's Spanish and the band's from Texas, it's Tejano. Does that sound fair to say or no?
Well, they started naming it Tejano in their way because of being that we're Tejanos, but they started their kind of music without accordion, synthesizers, and this and that for a long time, you know. So there, like I said before, there was no accordion in there. Now everything changed.
Right.
So now the Tejano music, música tejana, it's got an accordion in there. If there's no accordion in a Tejano group, it doesn't sound pretty. That's what I mean, you know.
It doesn't sound pretty. Now, the keyboards, I know we're straying away here a little bit, but that's okay. The keyboards, wouldn't you say, pero Tejano music really took on la palabra Tejano music when keyboards kicked in?
That is correct. Instead of using accordion, they put the synthesizers or the keyboard.
Right.
So they were like a real kind of a more modern things of instrumentations,
right,
or sound, you know.
Right. Enhanced, if you want to call it that.
Yes. And so they decided to do that, but I stuck with my accordion, which is a Tex-Mex sound. I recorded with Tejano guys, but I think, I don't remember, I think it was just one. Let's put it that way. But talking about if I go to sounds of Nashville, sounds of the groove of the Texas Tornadoes, or Conjunto, Tex-Mex, because Tex-Mex means that we're versatile. We play from a polka with accordion. We play rock and roll. We can play country. We can play Cajun. Everything is in a Tex-Mex band.
Right.
There's a lot of versatility in a Tex-Mex band.
Flaco, let's get back to the Tornadoes here for a minute. Before anything else, let me just let you be aware that I was, however you want to put it, a very big Freddy Fender fan. Is there a special moment, a special story that you can recall working with Freddy Fender? Algo que se te quedó en el corazón o en la mente of Freddy Fender, you working with him?
Well, no, there was the different subjects of what we, being that we play, we got along real good, you know, and there were several topics of what we, music or just kidding around or whatever. And
Augie Meyer, when I interviewed Augie Meyer, Flaco, he told me one thing about Freddy Fender that he remembers. He says that you could be in a plane or in a bus or in the van, traveling or whatever. He said Freddy Fender tenía la maña to where he always had his headphones on and he was always listening to his own music.
Well, I think he loved Freddy Fender. And nothing wrong with that, you know.
And Augie Myers. Of course, you worked with Augie Myers.
Yeah, Augie and Doug. I know the guys real good, though. So everybody's got their own thing going, you know. And
did y'all bond pretty well entre todos?
Yeah, there was no discussions. I mean, you know, like fights or disagreements or Freddie and Doug and Augie, when they had, you know, some meetings in some meeting room or whatever. It was pretty scary in some,
really,
muchas veces. Not all.
Se peleaban, Flaco?
No se peleaban. I mean, verbally nomás. No, not physically. You know?
I understand, of course.
But what I did, I always did, I said, don't ever invite me to one of your meetings. Never. I just go for the majority, man. That is it. Because if I get involved, man, there's going to be something flying.
Para saltar los botellas y todo.
Yeah, I don't want that. I didn't want that.
Because one thing, Flaco, for sure, you would say, you're talking about veteran musicians, and everybody probably had their own little idea of how to do things, ¿verdad?
Oh, yes. Teníamos diferentes kind of thinking in some ways. Teníamos diferentes ideas of music y todo, pero when we got to the Tornado, then we zeroed in that certain sound.
Right. I tell you what, Flaco, let's take a break in the action. Robert Rivas Radio, Tejano, and much more, and I'm here with Flaco Jimenez.
Yes, sir.
Robert Rivas Radio, Tejano, and much more.
Robert Rivas Radio, Tejano, and much more, and I'm back here with Flaco Jimenez. Oyes, amigo. Now, let's move forward here a little bit. Dwight Yoakam, talk to me about this.
It's another story. It takes just a phone call, which he got a hold of my phone somehow. I don't know how. But I never met a guy. I knew who he was or whatever, but then it came, pasó este día que I got this phone call from Pete Anderson, his guitar player. He was producing the record. They were cutting a record in Capitol Records in Hollywood, in California. That big round building, that big. I said, who in the hell is going to... Okay, well, but Dwight knew about me through Raul and my experiences with Emilio Harris, with so many guys that I recorded with Marty Stewart, with so many guys that I recorded with in Nashville. Then he gave me a call and he said he was working on two certain songs, which were The Streets of Bakersfield and Buenas Noches from a Lonely Room, which she wore red dresses. I took off to L.A. and got there, and the whole band was there, and then all of a sudden Buck Owens shows up. And I said, God damn, what the heck is going on here? And yeah, I knew Buck a while back, just briefly. It was not a buddy, but still, it was Dwight's idea to record The Streets of Bakersfield and add the accordion to the Tex-Mex sound of the accordion. We got to record those two songs, but it was Dwight's project. Buck Owens was helping him out on coaching him a little bit. Their relationship was like father, like son. They were like too close.
Flaco, but what a tribute to you out of so many accordion players out there that they pick you. They called you to go to California to do the recording. That is something else.
Yeah, well, I've been fortunate, to have invitations from groups from all over the world. There's some recordings that I haven't heard that I recorded in Spain or in the Netherlands, some in London, England. And, when you're on tour and there's a band, a name band from a certain country, they know you're going to do your tour there. So they're waiting for you for a certain song, so they jump on you right away.
Te están esperando, Flaco.
Yeah. So yeah, and sometimes I don't hear the songs at all. I mean, when they release it or whatever, and sometimes I get surprises. And there's a label from Belgium or the Netherlands or whatever, and I say, well, who? I can't recall this CD or whatever. And then I open the booklet, and there I am, Flaco Jimenez, accordion, and I don't remember where or when. Oh, shit.
Flaco, you came out in a movie called Picking Up the Pieces with Woody Allen and Sharon Stone. Oye, amigo, ¿cómo le haces, amigo? What kind of cologne you wearing here, man?
Don't use cologne.
How did you come about with this movie, Picking Up the Pieces, with Woody Allen and Sharon Stone?
Yeah, it was through Ry Cooder. And being that with Ry, I recorded my first soundtrack movie with Jack Nicholson. It was The Border. And before that, it was I recorded a soundtrack with Henry Winkler, which was Heroes.
I remember that.
Okay, that was my first one.
I remember that.
And then we did The Border, and then this movie comes up with Woody Allen and Sharon Stone, and I was just supposed to just be there serenading a girl in like a fountain or something. It was just a little small piece that I would have, but then they decided for me to say some words, and I don't consider myself an actor, man. No, I know how to tell lies, so it must be that I'm a good actor. I'm good at telling lies.
Now, Flaco, here's my question to you about this movie. How many millions and millions of dollars did they pay you to be in this movie, Flaco?
No, man, I wish.
Amigo.
No. Sometimes people say, you recorded with this, you've done this, Grammys and all. But actually, I'm not a rich man. I'm just a day-by-day worker, man. My fortune is my kids that I've got. I got 8 kids, and with my first wife I got 3. So that's my fortune, man. So I'm grow. I los mantenía todos. So that's my es mi fortuna. Money wise, no, ¿para qué voy a decir que tengo the millions which I don't have, man? Uh-huh.
Well, Flaco, I was going to ask you for $5, but I guess that's out of the question now, Flaco. Eh?
Well, I got 3.5, man. I got 350. I got 350, man.
Amigo, you've also been featured in soundtracks in the movies Y Tu Mamá También, The Border, Tin Cup, and Strip Tease. Do you remember this?
Yes, Strip Tease. Yes. Those movies, I mean, it's just like just receive a call, and just go and do some stuff there, and no planning at all. Just go. I'm not even scared to go and if I can't do it, I'll just come back. But it's worthwhile trying,
Of course, of course.
And that's what this es un consejo, que le doy a everybody that's in the music business. I don't care if they play guitar, drums, or Tejano, Conjunto, or Mariachi, or whatever. Just give it a try, man, and maybe that you hit the jackpot or get to receive 6 Grammys.
Amigo, we're coming up on 20 years of the passing of Selena Quintanilla. We're coming up on 20 years. Did you ever work with her? Did you ever get performing at an event where she was performing at?
Yes, I sat in with her. I can't recall if it was Fort Worth, Dallas, or some, but I know I got on stage at that occasion. But being as a friend, yes, I knew real good, and not that good though, but still we communicated.
Right.
Yeah, and she seemed like a real nice lady, man.
How did you feel when you found out about the tragedy that happened with her, on her getting killed?
Well, it was a tragedy for I mean, all of the world, was just stunned, of what happened. But still, she's with us in spirit anyway, and all of the guys that are not with us, they're still in spirit. As far as I'm concerned, we're next. But we don't know when, but we're next anyway.
You know what, Flaco? I've always said that regardless, their music will live forever. ¿No crees?
Oh, see, once it's recorded in video and record, or even in your mind, just in as far as their image, their performances, and everything doesn't go away. They'll be here forever.
Now, let's go on the lighter side. Let's have some fun here, Flaco.
Okay.
Flaco, what do you like to do on your off time? Do you go fishing? Do you go bowling? Do you go spending money? What do you do on your off time, Flaco?
Well, not spending money, but I ain't got nothing to go get at.
What do you do on your off time?
Oh, well, I stay most of the time, I go out with the guys and have a few beers and jam and just get together with guys, and being that I had back surgery, so I'm limited in mobilizing myself,
Are you a sports fan? Do you like Los Cowboys or Los Spurs or anything like that?
Well...
Not really, huh?
I'm not into sports too much, but if I would pick some sport, I would go for football.
What do you think about what's going on right now with Tejano music? A lot of people are saying Tejano music is dead or it's dying. It's just not the same no more the way it used to be. We all know that. Tejano was a hot thing back in the late 80s, early 90s, Pesco Lumbre, and just like as quick as it came on, that's as quick as it started sliding down again. What is going on with Tejano music right now, Flaco?
I don't have nothing against Tejano music. They tried their best. They're trying still their best to keep it in a good level. And if it's going down, it's not because of them. It's because of interest of the recording companies or other things that don't keep that sound where it's supposed to be. But music is funny. You don't know. You might be that from de un día a otro, boom, Tejano is right on the top again. So, which I respect the music, and I wish them, success on what they do. So I don't criticize it. I'm not racist as far as music. No, everybody does what they like to do, and they try to do what they like to do.
Right. Sure. Any last words for your fans, Flaco?
Well, all I have to do is just to say thanks to all of my friends from here, from all the United States, from my friends abroad, from many countries that I've played to my fellow musicians, of course, my friends from here, San Antonio, and wherever I've been playing. And so I just, all I have to say is gracias.
Do you see yourself ever retiring?
Well, I don't think so. No. The bills are still coming in.
Jesus, Flaco, the bills don't retire.
No,
I'm not retiring.
No way, man. Nos corta la luz y todo. No, heck no.
Tocando el acordeón sin luz, ¿verdad?
Oh, yeah, heck yes. Pero no. Well, as long as I'm in good health and I can mobilize myself, which I'm not in top shape ahorita, but I can mobilize myself and do some shows. But I've been slowing down because I'm not that young anymore, though. But, the music keeps me young.
Flaco Jimenez, thank you for joining me on Robert Rivas Radio.
Okay, thanks, Robert Rivas, and have a good one.
Robert Rivas Radio, Tejano, and much more.